Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to In Theory number 1. On this video, we're going to talk about the Motionless and White song, Porcelain. Now, I think this is a beautiful song. I love the emotion. The lyrics are amazing. The harmonies, the melodies, everything about it I really like. So what we're going to do is take, normal everyday songs. We're going to kind of look at them, use our ear. I'm not going to play this song on these videos. I'm not looking for any copyright strikes or anything. So if you want to know what we're talking about, right now we're talking about the intro of the song, and you can go from there and kind of figure out what we're talking about and listen to it for yourself. But music theory, historically, the way it has been kind of devised and then put into books and things, is they just look at what's called common practice of the time and kind of extrapolate from there. And then in this song, there's some other things happening that we need to talk about that are going to be me extrapolating and then telling you. And that doesn't mean that I'm right. I mean, that's the other thing about music theories. You can't hop into the composer's head and figure out what they were thinking about to justify what they're doing, or maybe they weren't even thinking. They're just like, hey, this sounds cool, I'm going to do it. So I would like you to keep that in mind, that right now we're just kind of extrapolating. None of this is facts. It's just what I'm hearing, what I think's going on, and we're talking about an awesome song. And then you can go from there and extrapolate and kind of, if you like the song too, maybe write a song similar in your own way. Okay, so it starts right out of the gate with a C minor chord, and it goes down a half step to a B major chord. Okay, C minor, B major. If you're in C minor natural minor, that B major chord doesn't exist. However, if you're using harmonic minor, then you have access to that B note, and you can keep the third that you were using in your C minor chord, and then you've got a B major triad, okay? And then you just create a full B major chord, and that note doesn't belong in C minor either. It's the flat 5 of the key. And the flat 5 is a pretty common note in a lot of things, on the blues scale. That's what that note is the flat 5. So it's pretty common. It's not too weird on the ear. And those two chords back to back are cool. They paint kind of a cool picture. Now your next chord is this chord, which is an E flat major chord, which is just the 3 chord of C minor. Right there. I just happen to be playing it right there. And then from there, this next part gets a little tricky for my ear, but what I'm hearing is this chord next, which is an A flat major chord. And from what I understand about their guitar tuning, they play 7-string guitars and drop A flat. So for them, that's their lowest note. That's their bottom note. Okay? So that's what I hear next. Now, after that, what's interesting is the first time through, I hear this, which is kind of this implied 5 chord, but also you're going to the 7 chord of C minor. So you're going from here, the A flat major chord, up to a B flat major chord. So now if you take a total tally of everything we've done, you've got a B natural and a B flat happening. This is what we call taking inventory. So you learn a section of a song and you inventory all the notes, all the sharps, all the flats, all the things you're finding. And then from there you can kind of extrapolate, okay, what's normal? What seems to stand out? And in this case, that B natural, the raised 7th of C minor is kind of what's standing out. So now that first time through, this is what you get. And that's what I hear in my head when I play along with it. That's what I'm hearing implied, okay? That's what I hear implied. That doesn't mean that's what they're playing. The chords going through there definitely have the sound of that chord for sure. And then you can hear this chord, but you kind of hear a bit of a return to that B major chord. But if you play the full B major chord in there, it doesn't sound quite right. So I think what they were going for, sonically, what you're hearing is you hear that leading tone go back up to the C minor. Because remember, a B natural, especially if you use it as a diminished chord, wants to go up there. And in this context, because C minor is home, that note wants to go there. So that's what I'm hearing the first time through. The second time through, I hear it more like they go down to the actual 5 chord of harmonic minor. So you end up with a G major chord, and that gives you the dominant of C minor. So the second time through, what I hear is this. And then it kicks in. And again, that's what I'm hearing. I've played along with it several times. I looked up different chord charts and stuff for it. I've watched some playthroughs of it. And that's what I'm hearing implied. Like if you were going to play this thing strictly on a piano, that's what I hear implied. And then once the song gets kicking on now, I'm not playing a 7-string that's in a drop A flat or anything. I'm just playing my classical guitar, but definitely tons of the C chord happening, especially in the beginning. There's a lot of that happening. And then when the first verse comes in, they're basically chucking on that C, and then they throw that in there. Now, what I hear when they throw that in there is I'm hearing the 5 chord again. So throughout the verse, when the chucking on the stuff's going on there, I'm pretty much hearing that. Quite a bit in there. And you could fool around with it yourself now that you know that it's in C minor, take an inventory of C minor, and you can play around and kind of hear what they're doing, what sounds implied. And why do I keep saying implied? The reason for that is there's chords going on, but there's also a guy singing. His melody is going to interweave and work with the chords to create these particular sounds. And that's why I said the second time through that intro, I hear that because of the way Chris sings it, the notes he hits makes it sound to me like they're implying this dominant chord to take you home to there. And so that's kind of the breakdown of that. Those chords pretty much are solid for the choruses, the intro. Of course, we talked about the verse a bit. The chorus is a little funny because, like I said, they're using drop A flat. So that's the lowest note. And I keep talking about this 5 chord. Well, what's important about that 5 chord is the B, the note B, is part of it. And that B is what gives you the leading tone up to the C. So at the end of the chorus, when you kind of get that, and then the C comes back in. Now, I'm not purposely playing everything exactly as is on the record. I'm just playing you the chords so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. And then you go back to the C. And I think, you know, if you watch this video and then you go listen to the song, or listen to the song while you watch the video, you can do it however you want. You'll start to hear those things as well. But essentially, that song is in C minor. You could argue for C harmonic minor, and they throw the flat 5 in there. And that pretty well takes care of most everything going on in the song. With the exception of when the way Chris sings it, he might be adding more sharps and flats in there that I'm unaware of, you know, but just listening, I hear that it mostly stays in C minor, C harmonic minor. So there you go, guys. That's In Theory number 1, Motionless in White, Porcelain. Have a wonderful day.